Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, I hope everybody's just having a great day. You know, today's Saturday, November the 2nd. It's pretty damn cold outside, so I'm in the shop going to do some work on the El Camino. You know, I'm really excited again. It's been a long time since I've been excited about the El Camino. I mean, I've had this car since 1997, and I'll go through, you know, as I document the car, I'm going to go through everything that I've done over the past. But you know, I've not done anything to the car for a little over 5 years. Was basically demotivated due to a fueling issue, which I fixed last weekend with all new fuel tank, new fuel injection rated fuel lines. Got that all taken care of. I have no more fuel smell in the shop or in the garage after I run the car, which is, I mean, just fantastic. I mean, I'm really excited again about this car. Now I got that problem taken care of. My next problem is the lack of freaking brakes. You know, when I, about 5.5, 6 years ago, part of my suspension upgrade was putting Wilwood brakes on the car. I put Wilwood front brakes on with 4-piston calipers, slotted rotors. You know, the master cylinder was leaking, so I put a brand new master cylinder on it. The brake booster still worked fine, but I put a new booster on it just because the old booster looked like crap, and I was just, you know, wanting everything to look new and restored. And ever since then, I've had basically zero freaking brakes. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, you know, I don't know if it's a brake booster problem. I know there's been a lot of problems with aftermarket brake boosters. Master cylinder problem, Wilwood brake problem, the pads didn't get seated in, I don't know. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to get rid of the auto zone brake master cylinder and put on a factory style master cylinder. So let's go. Well guys, I replaced the booster trying to fix a brake problem on my El Camino, and it didn't fix it. When you initially apply the brakes lightly, it feels better. But as you get into it a little bit deeper, there's nothing, and the pedal gets hard, and you should be able to lock up all 4 wheels on this car with minimal effort, and you can't lock them up at all. So I'm going to try replacing the master cylinder. Alright guys, before you can put on a brake master cylinder, you have to do what they call bench bleeding. And that's what I'm going to do here. So you put your master cylinder in a vise, and you have to get all the air out of the master cylinder before you even try to put it on the car. Alright, so I've got my brake bleed master cylinder bench bleed kit that I've had forever. And I'll get that installed here. And you want to make sure that your hose ends, when they're in the master cylinder, that the ends go below the fluid. You don't want to suck any more air into the master. I don't know if you probably can't see it. I'm going to bench bleed this master cylinder, and after I put it on the car, and once I'm sure it works, then I'm going to use this product that I bought from Eastwood Corporation. Eastwood doesn't support me. They don't sponsor my videos, they don't pay me anything, but they have a lot of good products for your automotive restoration. And this is called Brake Gray. And once I figure out that this master cylinder is going to work for me, then I'll clean it up and I'll paint it with Brake Gray, which gives the master cylinder an original factory appearance that keeps it from corroding and rusting and looking like crap in short order. And I also, this is my factory original booster. At the end of the day, this is what's going to cure my issue, is putting the damn factory booster back on, but it looked like crap. So I've cleaned it up, and I need to do a little bit more work to it. But I also bought from Eastwood, the Golden CAD system, which is a 3-part painting system that gives your brake master cylinder this golden CAD type of appearance. Alright, so let's put some brake fluid in the master. Make sure that the fluid level is below the bleeding lines, and then you start pumping the master. And taking a screwdriver, you just push in the plunger slowly in it. See the bubbles? You want to do this until there's no more evidence of bubbles. Get all that air out. Yeah, if you try putting your master cylinder on the car before you bench bleed it, you'll never get all the air out of it. I think we just about got her. I'll give it a couple more cycles just to make sure, but I think I'm there, guys. Yeah, let's see if we can get this AutoZone master cylinder out of here. I really think the problem is in the aftermarket booster, but we're going to try a master cylinder first. The new master cylinder, you see it, I don't know if you can see it, it doesn't have much of a hole in the back of the master, which requires a shorter engagement rod. See how long this one is? And this is the one that came with this booster and master, where some master cylinders go in quite a bit deeper. Okay, now let's see if we can get our line set, transfer it over. Now you don't lose a whole lot of fluid, but I will lose some. So if this cures my problem, I will have to do a complete brake bleed, but not for the initial install. All right, I'll clear some of this stuff out of the way and we'll give it a test. Warm up just a little bit here. Yeah, the brakes aren't any better. I can tell just pulling it out of the garage. Not one bit better. Well, as I suspected, I'll put this booster on next and see what the hell happens. Alright, let's go gas up the El Camino. It's I put the new master cylinder on. So far the brakes don't feel, the pedal feels a little bit different, but it doesn't feel any better at all as far as its stopping ability. The pedal feels different, but it doesn't have any brakes. I mean, with this brake system, 4-wheel disc brakes, Wilwoods in the front, I mean, this thing should lock them up or stand you on your nose, and it won't hardly stop. It feels different. It actually feels better. So I mean, but it's not really stopping much better, but the pedal feels better. This is some boring so I'm gonna turn it off. All right, guys, I replaced the master cylinder, took a ride, did not fix my brake problem. So my next option in repair is I'm going to put the factory booster back on. Before I install the factory booster, I'm using my Eastwood Golden Cad Step 1 base coat to give it a little better factory clean look. That's just the very first base coat, and then I'll put another coat on it before I use the second step is the red zinc, and then the third step is the green zinc. Well, I've went through the 3 steps of the gold cad, the red cad, and the green cad. I mean, you're never gonna completely duplicate the actual cad plating, but it doesn't look too bad. You know, this isn't a factory, this is an aftermarket booster, and I don't know what they do. If it's actual cad plated or painted, I think it's cad plated, but yeah, you know, it's paint. While I've got the wheels off, I'm going to take advantage of the open access and lubricate all the chassis points with this car having the Global West suspension. It has what they call Dellalum bushings, which is kind of an aluminum bushing instead of a rubber bushing. It's kind of a bearing, more or less. But you can tell this is a driver because it's not spotless. But I've got the tubular control arms Global West with the coil-over shocks, Global West front suspension. You can see where the tire rubs just a little bit on this side. I'm still working on my brake problem, but while I have this off, I'm going to scuff the rotor a little bit, take the pads out, scuff those a little bit, just in case they didn't get seated in properly when I initially put these on. Yeah, even the lower control arms have fittings. Okay, well, I got everything greased as best that I can. Okay, now let's change our greasy gloves and do a little sanding on these brakes. Yeah, I don't know if it'll do a damn bit of good, but it's not going to hurt anything, so I'm going to pull the pads out, scuff them up a little bit. Pads come in and out pretty easily. But yeah, after I did this brake job and I put the Wilwood brakes on there, this car came equipped with factory discs, and I took the factory discs off, took the factory calipers off, put the Wilwoods on, replaced the brake lines, put a new booster on, and I've got no brakes. All right, well, I've bled the brakes, I've scuffed the pads and front rotors, I've put on a new master cylinder, and while I have the wheels off, I'm going to clean the inside of the wheels. I'm not going to polish, I'm just going to clean them up a little bit. Let's take a look at it. It's much easier to clean when they're off. So We'll give the inside wheels a clean, and then I'll need to put the booster on. Well, the paint job on the original booster's not too bad. You see a little red, you see a little green. I mean, it's still paint, but, you know, looks all right. Let's put this on. Yeah, I got her about halfway on. Yeah, the bigger factory booster is a lot harder to get to the firewall nuts. But we're getting there. Probably not a good idea to have the camera going anyway, because I'm sure I'm going to be cussing up a storm here pretty soon. I'm doing a little better than before, but man, this damn thing is just impossible to... You can't see what you're doing for one, and you have to do about a quarter of a turn at a time on the damn firewall nut. Oh man, these suck. Well guys, it's on. The original factory booster. I did a little restoration. Yeah, my extra light went out. I did a little restoration work with some Eastwood CAD paint, 3-step. It looks okay. I may need to touch it up a bit. New master cylinder. And now all we have to do is test drive it.